I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
I'm broken system, broken trust, and I approve this message.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Mask on. Fuck it, mask on. Mask on. Fuck it, mask on.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to the show, my friends. This is going to be a stream that I forgot about until about 20 minutes ago. I actually had to, I sat here for a second and went, what was I going to stream today? Because I genuinely did not remember, but I found it. I found it from Law Nerds Unite. It's the sovereign citizen who got pulled over for a fake plate and decided to bring his tribal attorney to court. And I'm going to have some words to say about that when we're playing the video. Because the guy's not, I don't know, he's trying to represent himself, but the attorney is just standing behind him, whispering in his ear like this, but you can still hear everything he's saying. So it's like, why don't you just represent him? Because it seems like you're just representing him already. But whatever. But we have some things to talk about first. One, you should know, which is the third channel. We got 2 new subscribers yesterday. I still haven't started the new Star Wars series because there's been so much sovereign citizen nonsense going on that I've just kind of leaned into that the last few days. But yeah, go subscribe to that. If somebody can drop a link in the chat, that would be absolutely terrific. Wow, there's 23 people here. Terrific. So this is what we're going to cover. This guy, who I already dislike 3 seconds into the video. He's a very dislikable person. And you guys are going to immediately go, yeah, I fucking hate him 3 seconds into the video. But I have something else to talk about. I believe it is the Alex Murdaugh murder conviction. That for some reason the South Carolina Supreme Court overturned the murder conviction due to jury tampering by a court clerk. Well, that was exciting. For some reason, it's like windier than shit here, and I think I'm about to get fucked by some weather here. So let me Let me see. Okay. Interesting. All right, I guess we'll start this over again and hope the fucking wind doesn't blow my shit out again. That's terrific. That's not what you guys want to watch. You guys want to watch that. There we go. Yeah, I'm being hacked by some fucking gnomes. I don't know what's going on outside. It just got windier than shit, and it's not very good looking outside right now. Interesting.
Have any questions, Mr. Schmidt, about the process?
Let's go back a little bit and then hit start. Maybe. Man, I'm having a great day over.
I was not driving. I was not operating. I was traveling in my mode of conveyance. I answer to God and God only.
I've already made a record that the court can prosecute.
That's not a ruling.
That's an ignore.
All right, I'm going to call Charles Schmidt, 25M4346. And Mr. Schmidt, if you could take a seat at this table. We are set for a motions hearing today, and I know that the prosecution has objected to the court addressing these motions, but based on the record, I will allow for argument and, if necessary, testimony regarding those motions. So I think we'll just take them one at a time. Do you have any questions, Mr. Schmidt, about the process we're going to follow today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that I'm keeping a real good record of this. So I just want to make sure. There was a motion for an interlocutory appeal that you wanted to appeal that to a higher court, some of which I think was discussing that you were unhappy with the Judge Burbach's rulings on whether you would get that addressed. Do you still want to make an argument regarding the motion for an interlocutory appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'll give you 3 minutes. Go ahead.
What was the charge that I was pulled over for?
So I mean, this isn't going to be a back and forth. So you can make an argument and then I'll hear from the prosecution and then I'll rule.
I have no idea why I was pulled over.
Okay. Do you want to make any other argument on this motion for an interlocutory appeal? You have about full 3 minutes.
The fact that I was not being represented by Constitution. I do have co-counsel with me at present who is a bar attorney and my tribal elder. He has a federal bar card. And the fact that the officer lacked probable cause on the stop to start with.
The probable cause thing is going to be annoying as shit because there is actually probable cause, but he just doesn't want to accept that there's probable cause. Hey, Daisy May, the retarded sovereign citizen. How are you? You are uneducated and lack any IQ to be having a conversation with any of us. Thanks for playing.
Okay. Mr. Eads, do you want to make any argument?
Your Honor, I just object to an interlocutory appeal in this case. I don't really think that there's any grounds. Generally, interlocutory appeals are reserved for when there has been some kind of order of the court, oftentimes like a prosecutorial motion based on like suppression of evidence or something of that nature. That's not really what we have here. I don't see that there is any real basis.
Based on my review of the authority, I don't find that anything has been presented that would allow for an interlocutory appeal. Where I'm ruling on them today, I'm giving you that opportunity to be heard. I'm giving you that due process. As far as the entry and not guilty plea on your behalf, the law does allow a judge to do that. There's a statute, and that's under Colorado law, and that's 16-7-208.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you object. I'm just gonna, so I've given you a chance to speak, I'll speak, and then, and you can make any other further record. But that statute says that if a defendant refuses to plead, then the court shall enter a plea of not guilty. So the court has the...
Again, we're going to have to talk about this because for some reason, sovereign citizens, we actually covered this, I think, last night in one of the cases where he didn't want to make any type of plea, guilty, not guilty, whatever. And when the judge's like, okay, I'll put it in for not guilty to keep all of your rights intact and to say that you're not guilty. And he flipped out. And this guy, it's like they're trying to just slow the case down in hopes that something happens. And it's like, no, they're just going to say not guilty and move on. Daisy May, you notice how you still are able to make a comment? I enjoy showing people how dumb sovereign citizens are. So far in the last 2 weeks, you have made nonsensical comment after nonsensical comment that aren't based in reality, law, or the Constitution. I am not cutting out your tongue saying that I fear what you have to say. I am letting you use your tongue as much as you want because you just keep showing everyone how dumb you are. That is all.
The judge has the power to move a case along, even if someone doesn't want to enter into their not guilty plea. That is a process that under Colorado law we have. So it sounds like that has raised something for you, Mr. Schmidt. So I'll give you 2 minutes to make any argument on that.
I did not refuse. He did not supply.
Yeah, do you see him right now, the fucking lurch standing behind the guy? He's just whispering, telling him everything to say. And it's like, sir, you're basically representing this guy. If you're just representing this guy, go on and walk around and represent him. You're talking about the comment section. Oh, are you talking about the defamation that you posted? Yeah, I don't let that shit slide in my comments. Sorry. Misinformation, defamation, out of the comments. Sorry. Try again. Maybe bring facts this time.
A bill of particulars where I could make my argument and pleading to the court. I do not know what I was pulled over for. I was denied counsel. When I requested counsel, I was denied Miranda rights. I was not driving. I was not operating. I was traveling in my mode of conveyance that I'm entitled to have.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a ruling regarding this jurisdiction issue. So jurisdiction is used in this order, this finding relates to the power of a court to hear and decide cases involving violations of substantive criminal law. So again, it's been alleged that this occurred in Colorado. Therefore, the court has subject matter jurisdiction. Mr. Schmidt is here in front of the court. The court believes that it has jurisdiction over him. To any point that there might be that he didn't contract or any sort of UCC, I didn't see that in there, so I don't think I need to make a record on that issue, the Uniform Commercial Code. And so I do find that we do have jurisdiction over Mr. Schmidt, but Mr. Schmidt, I will give you 2 minutes to respond to the argument.
Authority do you have over Indians? I did not hear anything about Indians. Under Yakima Indian Nation versus Flores 955, F-Sup 1229, E.D. Washington 12 of February 97. Former Governor Stevens guaranteed that all Yakimas shall have the same liberties outside the reservation to pasture animals on land not occupied and on land not occupied by whites, to kill game, to go get berries, and to go on the road to market. I am free to travel, ma'am, period, by treaty. And that would be the Treaty of 1855. And I don't know that I have that number in front of me.
Tribe was recognized.
So where did y'all wind up with jurisdiction over us when our treaty was there before this was even a state? We were in the Northwest and recognized by the United States as treaty. Indigenous Indians. I am a member of the Pilchuck tribe. I'm being represented by counsel of the...
If you were being represented by counsel, your counsel would be sitting next to you, not sitting in the back, whispering over the bar, trying to say nonsense. This is the worst representation by an attorney that I've ever seen in my entire life.
The Kikialis Indian Nation.
Let me just pull up another case. There's a Colorado case, People versus Drew, 650 or 250 Pacific 3rd, 761. It's a Colorado Appeals Court case from 2010. And that talks about that these ideas that someone's a sovereign citizen, and I have a quote from a case that is actually a federal case that I find helpful in that guidance. Utah Department of Workforce Services versus GEDDES, and that's a 2013 Westlaw 1367025. That court said the sovereign citizen argument has been rejected repeatedly by courts. Simply by labeling oneself as a sovereign citizen, an individual does not immunize himself from the jurisdiction of the state or federal courts. Jurisdiction is a matter of law, state and constitution, wherein one's power is, and not a child's game, wherein one's power is magnified or diminished by the display of some magic talisman or by use of special seals or by the recital of special words, phrases, or arcane incantations. Even though a defendant may have a sincere belief that he is an alien beyond the jurisdictional reach of the courts, in that case, they found he is simply wrong. Courts have routinely found that sovereign citizen arguments are completely without merit and patently frivolous. Thus, an individual's belief that status as a sovereign citizen puts him beyond the jurisdiction of the courts has no conceivable validity in American law. That's Charlotte versus Hansen, 433 FAPPX 660, 10th Circuit, 2011.
Sovereign citizen, that's an oxymoron. You can either be sovereign or you can be a citizen, but you cannot be both. I answer to God and God only.
Okay. All right. So I'll note that I've already made a record that the court can prosecute, even if you are in a.
All right. So let's break down this nonsense. Let's break down this nonsense because it makes absolutely no fucking sense. This whole sovereign citizens and oxymoron thing. Well, when your great-great-great-grandpappy came up with the sovereign citizen movement and named themselves sovereign citizens, we call you sovereign citizens because that's what they named themselves. Seems pretty simple, I know. If somebody came up with the sports team, the Colorado Jumbo Shrimp. Guess what? We're going to call them the Jumbo Shrimp because that's what they named themselves. Yes, it's an oxymoron, but that's what they named themselves, so that's what we're going to call them. Same thing with the sovereign citizen movement. They named themselves the sovereign citizens, so we're calling them sovereign citizens. Just because you want to break the words down and you don't like what comes with being called a sovereign citizen doesn't mean, well, you can't call me that because it's an oxymoron. Makes no fucking sense. Makes absolutely no sense.
I made a record regarding your tribal membership.
Okay, to start, can I have you state your full name into the record and spell your last name?
Chris Steiner, Steiner.
Thank you. And where do you currently work, Agent Steiner?
I'm a detective with the Arvada Police Department.
Okay. And how long have you been a detective for?
Been a detective since 2018. I've worked with the department since 1995.
He's been working with this department since I was 4 years old. Let that sink in.
All right. And what are some of the responsibilities that you have as a detective?
My primary responsibilities are crash investigation reconstruction and crime scene investigation reconstruction.
Now, are you able to make and initiate traffic stops as a detective?
I am.
Okay. And under what authority are you able to do that?
I'm still a police officer with the city of Arvada, and I'm also still technically assigned to the traffic unit.
Now, do you recall a traffic stop that you initiated on August 1st of 2025?
I do.
And what specifically did you see to cause you to make a stop there?
As the seatbelt violation is a secondary offense, I had to observe something else occur. As Mr. Schmidt drove past me, I could see that he had a handicap placard swinging from the rearview mirror.
And what else?
Can be an obstruction to your vision. And also saw that he was not wearing a seatbelt. After I got behind the vehicle, I also observed what appeared to be a fictitious license plate.
So he had the handicap thing. And if it was just the handicap thing, I may be on your side and being like, well, duh, it's a handicap thing. I assumed that's where it goes. But he also had a fake plate on his car. So that would be the probable cause to pull him over, because you had a fake plate. Seems pretty simple. Oh, Daisy, take off your tinfoil hat, bro. Take off your tinfoil hat. Get the tinfoil off your windows. The government's not listening to you. The aliens aren't abducting you. Take the fucking... You can't outlogic delusion. Yeah. Speaking of Daisy May... Lord, these people are crazy. Yeah, weapons. You can't really argue with this person. I've been going back and forth with this person for weeks, and they have yet to make any relevant or reasonable argument for why they are right. They just call me a government shill or like a government plant or that I'm paid by the government. So, Daisy May, what you're saying is if a cop asks you if you're a sovereign citizen, you say, no, you're not a cop. Even though if you look up the sovereign citizen movement, it doesn't describe a cop at all. So you're just telling the cop that you're mentally disabled, which personally I believe.
Now, you noted a fictitious license plate. Going through that real quick, what about it prompted you to believe that it was fictitious?
It was not a standard plate issued by the state of Colorado. It said Colorado on the top, but then I believe it said something like A and S on one side. The numbers weren't standard. Characters were not standard for Colorado license plates.
So would it be correct to say that it just didn't look like a Colorado license plate that would be issued by the state?
That's correct. Asked him for his license, registration, and insurance, and he refused to give them to me.
Okay. And so is this something that happens to you sometimes?
Very, very, very rarely.
What's the procedure in occasions where something like this does happen for you?
Usually we just keep asking and try to get, if they don't have a driver's license, we ask, okay, what's your name? And that type of stuff. And just try to get a verbal identification or something like that. He refused, saying that he wasn't my friend.
See right here, do you see what he's doing? He's leaned back and this attorney is telling him what to do and say. If I was the judge, I would shut that shit down with a quickness. Either you're going to represent him and be over here, or you're going to shut the fuck up and be back there. Like, which one is it? You got to make up your mind right now. Are you going to represent him, or are you going to sit back there silently? If he wants to call you as a witness, maybe we shall see. You can talk then, but until then, you're going to sit back there and you're going to shut the fuck up. Because this is just sketchy to me.
And that he wasn't driving, so he didn't have to give me anything.
Can you explain to me, how were you interacting with him throughout this?
I was standing outside of his vehicle. He rolled down the window about 2 inches and was talking to me through the window. Didn't provide me any information and threw a large packet of paperwork at me saying I'd been served.
Did he give you any rationale or reason why he was refusing to comply with your request for identification?
He said he wasn't driving, that he was just traveling, so I couldn't stop him.
Was there anybody else in the vehicle with him?
There was not.
Was he in the driver's seat of the vehicle?
He was.
Had you seen him traveling or, operating the vehicle on a roadway?
Yes.
Do you know that roadway, who that was maintained by?
It's the City of Arvada roadway.
So would that be a municipality?
Yes.
And he was the one that was in control of that vehicle?
He was.
In common parlance, would that be driving?
Yes.
So based on your observations and your own investigation, did you issue him a summons or a ticket?
I did.
And what charges were issued?
It was for obstructing government operations, failed to display valid registration, not wearing a seatbelt, no proof of insurance.
And was fictitious plates another one of those?
Yes.
And what was the basis for the obstruction of government operations?
Failing to provide information that we requested on the traffic stop, that being license, registration, and proof of insurance.
And did he provide any physical or other obstacles to you being able to conduct that operation, that traffic stop?
Refused to talk to me anymore. He had the VIN number blocked on the windshield, so we could not see the public VIN. Took the stop from what probably would have lasted about 4 minutes is my average traffic stop time to over 30 minutes and required three officers.
Officer Steiner.
Okay, he's going to try to ask this officer some questions. It's going to make no sense. And I'm glad that this officer basically threw the book at him. And you guys know that I always talk about in all of my videos at this point with traffic stops, I talk about efficiency. If this officer is getting this shit done in 4 minutes, I wish I could clone him 10,000 times and spread him out throughout the country, because that's the shit that I like. That's that shit I do like. Daisy May, I'm sorry, but I think you hit your head. I think you're like on the Tyrants Beware train where like one more head injury and you're probably going to be done. Like none of your comments are making sense. Like why? I've taken down 2 of your comments, Daisy. Both of them were misinformation about you telling the truth. That's the only things that I've touched. Please do better. Please seek help. Please seek help. Hashtag mental health awareness for Daisy May.
Are you allowed to violate the law in order to enforce it?
At sometimes, yes. If I had to drive faster than the speed limit or something like that, yes.
So you're allowed to use an unmarked car for the sole purpose of pulling people over for a placard, where nowhere on it does it say remove while driving.
And right there, you see how this guy is already being dishonest in his questioning of this officer? Oh, you can use a unmarked car specifically for pulling people over with a placard. Well, no, it was the placard and the fake license plate. It's funny how you forgot the fake license plate part.
Yes, I'm able to use an unmarked car to do traffic enforcement.
Against federal law. Where was I stopped?
I'm sorry?
Was it a highway, a roadway, byway?
You pulled off of Lamar onto, I believe it's 56th.
So that is not a highway.
It's a roadway.
Right. I believe I have something that says all Indians have secured treaty right to travel upon all state public highways without being required to have a state-issued driver's license, license plate, or registration. Are you familiar, sir,
Your Honor,
with...
object at this time to relevance as well as, I believe, a misstatement of the law.
So I'm going to let Mr. Schmidt finish his question.
I'm glad that the prosecutor's like, yeah, he cherry picked a little bit of something. He misstated the law. Yeah, and it's not like he was using them to. It's not like he was using the unmarked car specifically for traffic. He was literally doing something else. Noticed the guy had a fake plate and was just like, easy win. He has a fake plate, and pulled him over. So this guy's entire argument is based in delusion. He's not telling the truth about why he was pulled over. He's leaving out a massive detail. He's also saying, well, where was I pulled over? And it's like, well, you pulled off of the highway onto this street. Oh, well, you pulled me over on a roadway. And it's like, well, if I caught you doing something somewhere else and you pulled off somewhere, that's on you for pulling off. Like I caught you doing it on this roadway and you pulled off, and that's where I stopped you. Okay. That's like if you got caught doing something and then pulled into your driveway. Guess what? They're just going to do a traffic stop in your driveway. We've seen it dozens of times. Who's on trial? The crypt keeper looking guy in the center of the screen. This guy right here.
And then I'll roll on your objection. So what is your question?
Are you familiar, sir, with the Vehicle Anti-Theft Act?
So I'm going to find that that's not relevant to the issues of constitutional motions of whether there was reasonable suspicion to stop the car, probable cause, or the Miranda issue that's been raised. And so I will sustain that objection. Mr. Schmidt, today all we're deciding are these constitutional issues of whether evidence can come into your trial. And so all we're focusing on is whether the officers complied with the Constitution. And so if Mr. Eads is objecting, I'll rule on those objections, but I want you to narrow in on those issues that you filed on that regarding those constitutional issues. Go ahead.
You say I did not offer you anything as evidence. Do you remember a blue folder that I handed you 3 times out the window? My dossier that had all that in it?
It was twice you threw a large packet of paperwork at me saying I'd been served.
3 times.
Okay, Mr. Schmidt, you can't interrupt him because we do need to make sure the record's clear, okay? So go ahead, officer, and then I'll let Mr. Steiner finish his sentence.
Do you know what was in that dossier?
No, sir.
Did you open it and look?
It wasn't the driver's license, registration,
How do
or
you
insurance
know?
that I asked you.
Mr. Schmidt, again, you can't interrupt, okay? And so we won't get the record to.
Okay, for all the sovereign citizens out there, Daisy may take note. If you're pulled over for having fake plates, and you, instead of giving license, registration, and proof of insurance, you hand them a giant binder, stapled together, paper clipped together novel of nonsensical bullshit, and then they open and go, oh shit, this isn't insurance, this isn't your registration, this isn't your ID. Here you go, and you give it back. Doesn't mean you know what it fucking said. It means it wasn't a license, so I gave it back. Actually, so if you look directly behind him, he's technically being represented by a tribal attorney, but the tribal attorney is sitting where an attorney doesn't go, but he's slowly coming up and whispering to him exactly what to do at every turn, which is absolute bullshit. So actually his tribal attorney is the terrible attorney.
Be clear. So, Officer Steiner, if you could just finish your sentence, please.
It wasn't the driver's license, registration, and insurance card that I asked for.
And how do you know this?
Because you told me I was being served, which to me appears to be legal documents serving me with some type of court document or something like that. That's not a driver's license.
So you're saying that the seatbelt was the probable cause in order to pull me over?
No, sir.
Is that an arrestable offense?
I did not say the seatbelt was the probable cause to pull you over.
Okay, so it's a secondary.
Correct.
Okay, what was the probable cause in order to pull me over?
The obstructed vision that could have occurred from the object swinging from the mirror, that being the handicap placard, and the fictitious license plate on your vehicle.
Do you have measurement or a photograph of this alleged swinging a flag hanging from the rearview mirror?
I believe it was captured on body camera.
And I bet it hangs lower than the sun visor that comes standard equipment with the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
No.
Because it hangs on the rear view mirror, which hangs down below the visor, sir.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to overrule that objection because it was an answer to your question. And so I'd like you to focus on any other questions that have to do with that stop, probable cause, or the Miranda issue that you've raised.
So you noticed he keeps wanting to bring it back to other things that aren't the fake plate. He's refused to acknowledge the fake plate even. And then even right here. So the probable cause was my no seatbelt. And it's just no, it was your, handicap placard and a fake plate. But he doesn't want to talk about the fake plate. Can't talk about the fake plate. If he acknowledges the fake plate, he acknowledges he's guilty. So he's just not going to bring it up. But the officer has made it a point to keep bringing it up every time.
Raised regarding your statements.
I had requested counsel to be present. Do you remember me making that statement? And that I did not allow for any search or seizures of that car. I made that statement to both you and Officer Brown.
I'm going to object. This sounds like testimony. He's not currently on the stand.
Okay. Officer, did at any point he request an attorney?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Mr. Schmidt, any other questions?
Did you cite me for the other violation that I was alleged stopped for?
No, I didn't cite you for the handicap placard. I cited you for several other violations.
Which would be poisonous to the fruits of the poisonous tree.
Again, I'm pretty sure he was cited for the fake plate, but he's not going to talk about it. He's not going to talk about it. This is from Law Nerds Unite. I'll put the link to the original video in the description after the video because I totally didn't. I don't think I did any type of description for this other than my default one. But yeah, he's refusing to acknowledge this. Now he's saying, oh, well, if you didn't cite me for the handicap placard, everything is fruit of the poisonous tree. It's like, well, I cited you for the fake plate, which is also part of the reason I pulled you over. So your argument falls flat as soon as you bring up the fake plate.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You may step down. Any other witnesses for the prosecution?
Yeah, at this point, I think we'll rest.
Okay.
I do have Sergeant Brown here, but I think they're sufficient.
Okay, hold on a second, Mr. Schmidt. So the prosecution rests on the motions hearing. Mr. Schmidt, do you intend to call any witnesses that are relevant to the probable cause, the stop, and the Miranda issue?
Yeah.
Was that person present here on that day? Okay, so how would he?
By tribal counsel.
Okay.
Expert witness.
For what?
Matters.
Tribal matters. So legal issues?
Yes.
Okay.
In particular.
So I'm making a factual finding today regarding whether there was reasonable suspicion, probable cause in that Miranda issue. Calling an expert, a legal expert, I'm going to base my decision on the law. You can cite the law, but you do not have an attorney that has entered their appearance formally, and they need to do that before they can represent you. If he's an expert, you can.
No counsel, ma'am, do not have to, according to the Sixth Amendment.
Yeah, well, under the rules of the Colorado Rules of Procedure, you do have to have an attorney enter their appearance to represent you, because you can't practice law without asserting and filing the proper paperwork. So
neither can you, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not going to argue back and forth. You've asked me to rule on these issues.
She's the fucking judge, bro. She was elected, appointed if somebody left. Her credentials, her fucking oath of office is in the system with their fucking city government. You can literally go down to wherever, probably the courthouse, and be like, oh, can I FOIA this, and this? And they're just going to give it to you. They might even have it hanging up on the fucking wall. In her chambers, she probably has her fucking degrees from fucking all these colleges, probably pictures of when she passed the bar, all of her stops of being an attorney. Your guy has given nothing. You've said he's a tribal attorney who has a federal bar card and is a tribal elder, but you have proven nothing. You have proven nothing. Yeah, Daisy, that's why you're still here. Comments help the algorithm, no matter how dumb they are. And here you are, bringing 30 comments to my stream, talking absolute nonsense. My chat's dogging on you. I'm dogging on you. You've basically lost any credibility you had, but you get to stay because you keep commenting. Keep it up. I love it. And then once my stream's done, you can run back to the sex offender support circle that you fucking run in and tell them all about my stream. Good luck with that.
So I am not going to argue back and forth. What we do is I allow you to make argument, response, and then I'll rule. I am declining to hear from your person that's here today. I don't think it's relevant to the motions issues that have been raised. So.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll note your objection. Now what I'm going to do is, do you have...
Can either overrule or sustain.
Okay. I note your objection.
You don't note it.
I will note it, and I've already said that I'm denying you an opportunity to have your witness testify. So you can make a record regarding your objection, but I've already said that I'm not allowing him to testify. All right. So I just want to make it sure it's clear.
But she's still letting him lean back and get all this advice. Is he co-counsel or is he representing you? Either way, get on this side so we can hear you when you want to talk. Yes and no. Comments do help. Likes help. It just shows YouTube that not only are there almost 80 people in chat or live, is that there's also a bunch of people commenting, so they'll recommend it more and all that jazz. But in the grand scheme, nobody really understands the YouTube algorithm anymore. We're just all kind of winging it.
Mr. Schmidt, do you have any other witnesses that you wish to call?
Not that you're willing to allow.
Okay, thank you. All right, the court's going to make the following findings in fact and conclusions allowed to rule in this matter. I guess initially there's been some arguments, so I just want to make sure that the record's clear on the jurisdiction of the court. I'm looking at 422126.5, and that is regarding some traffic laws, and it talks about that it uses the term Indians, means a person who's a member of a federally recognized Indian tribe. So Mr. Schmidt is asserting that he's a member of this federally recognized Indian tribe. The tribal code, including terrific provisions, governs the conduct of Indians within the reservation. When Indians drive, and this is a quote, and that's subsection 2.3. When Indians drive outside of the reservation, state and municipal traffic laws apply to their state driving privileges. So I'll just find that the court does have jurisdiction over Mr. Schmidt on this traffic case. So I guess I'll just go into the facts that I heard. So officer.
So you heard that. That's why I was very, very, very happy when the prosecutor was just like, he's not quoting that correctly. And then the judge is like, yeah, you can drive on the reservation all you want with the reservation rules. But the moment you cross into the United States or like not tribal land anymore, all the fucking traffic laws apply to you. And then it looks like his tribal attorney might have dipped out on him. What he thought wasn't going well and dipped out. It's just crazy to me. And then and then the judge is like, yeah, you have to be part of a federally recognized Indian tribe. You can't just say I'm part of the KFARR tribe and just have that fly, because that's not how it works. Let's see what Daisy said. I would never lower myself to go out with a bootlicker. I have my standards. Your standards are cousin fuckers, sex offender supporters, and low IQ individuals that spit on the Constitution and don't understand the law. Good luck with that, Daisy May. I have a guy for you who regularly sucks dick outside the Wendy's dumpster. I'll give you his name later.
Mr. Steiner testified that he's a detective for the Arvada Police Department. Sir, I'll let you make an argument when it's my turn to make a ruling. That on August 1st, 2025, he pulled over Mr. Schmidt and he identified him as the person in the courtroom. He pulled Mr. Schmidt over and then he didn't have a driver's license. He said he refused to give him his license, registration, and insurance. And he said that he wasn't his friend, so he wasn't driving.
And now it looks like he's got two people back there trying to represent him or help him, even though the judge just said you don't have a co-counsel and you're representing yourself. Contempt. All three of them. All three of them. And I think you should have to turn your phone off and have it not be seen in court. Because God knows what they're fucking looking at right now.
He was traveling. Mr. Schmidt wasn't being compliant. He said he'd like to speak to Officer Steiner's supervisor. So Officer Steiner complied with the request of Mr. Schmidt and called Sergeant Brown. And Sergeant Brown then reported to the scene and they talked for another 3 minutes. And then it appears that Mr. Schmidt then did comply with providing his license. He was issued a summons. He did not accept the summons, so they put that under a windshield wiper. The court does find that there was reasonable suspicion to pull Mr. Schmidt over for the false plates. So to the extent, so I would find that Mr. Schmidt was pulled over, then he requested a sergeant be on the scene, which prolonged his detention. And so I would find that in essence, he was requesting it. However, I do find that there was probable cause in that he had fictitious plates. He was refusing to give his information. And then as they continued their conversation, he had failed to display proof of insurance. And while he received a summons, there was sufficient probable cause to place him under arrest. As far as Miranda, that's a different analysis in that there must be custody and interrogation. Custody is more than not being free to leave. That looks like there's a case that says it's tantamount to arrest. And so the court finds that Mr. Schmidt was given a summons. He was not under arrest for purposes of a Miranda. So the court looks at those factors and finds that he was not under arrest or custodial interrogation for the purpose of needing Miranda to be read to him. I find that he was not in custody for the purposes of Miranda. So he was not subject to custodial interrogation. I'll find that all of Mr. Schmidt's statements were voluntary. So I am denying Mr. Schmidt's motions on those issues. Mr. Schmidt, I'll give you another 3 minutes to make any argument regarding that, because it sounds like you have some disagreements regarding that.
Yes, ma'am.
I vote that for the next 7 minutes, or my guess is that he's not going to say anything that has any legal relevance to this case. He's just going to keep flapping his old gums about nothing. And it's 23 minutes, about to be 24 minutes into this case, and he has still not addressed the fake plate.
United States versus Pratzer. If an officer does not cite based on what he pulled me over for, he loses his opportunity to come back at a later time and cite me for anything else.
Well, he cited you for a fake plate, but you're still not talking about it, bro. Again, this fake plate keeps coming into play where you got pulled over for having a fake plate and something else, but he only cited you for the fake plate. But the fake plate still exists. You still got a ticket for the fake plate. Therefore, everything you're saying is nonsensical.
Furthermore, where's the corpus delicti? I want to see the person that I harmed or injured. Also, I would like to see the contract in which I have signed my signature to, obligating me to this. And again, I will bring up the unmarked car. Where in statute or federal law does it allow an unmarked car to pull over another car? I yield.
Okay. Any response to that? Okay. I made my ruling regarding under
the prosecutor's response is this guy's dumber than dog shit. That's it. Nothing you just said. I'm still waiting to hear about the fake plate. I want to hear the excuse for the fake plate. Yeah, weapons. This guy, the nerve of this guy to give us a word salad this thick without any dressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nothing but word salad from this guy. It's crazy.
State law. There is one more thing that I probably need to put on the record regarding travel. And that is, so while the right to travel interstate is without question a fundamental right under the Constitution, the critical inquiry in the case is whether someone's license burdens this fundamental right, and the Colorado Supreme Court has found that it does not. So requiring someone to be licensed or follow the traffic laws does not unconstitutionally burden someone's right to travel. So that's Henninger versus Charnes, CHARNES, 613 Pacific 2nd, 884. All right, so those are the constitutional issues I believe that we have handled. So, Mr. Schmidt, I just want to confirm you are set for jury trial on June 4th at 8 a.m. Have you picked up your discovery?
Still object, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll note your objection. I've already made my ruling. I'm not arguing back and forth.
I don't need a note. I need either
Okay.
overrule.
Right there. Stop fucking talking to him. You are not representing him. You are not co-counsel. Sit in the back and shut the fuck up. It's that easy. If I was a judge, I would have shut this down the first time Lurch fucking came over the thing and was trying to whisper to him about, it can only be a sustained. No, shut the fuck up and sit in the back. Sit in the fucking back. You are not helping him. You are hindering efficiency and only talking nonsense.
Or sustain it.
I've already made a ruling on it, and you've made a record on your objection.
No, ma'am.
No, we're not arguing back and forth.
No, ma'am, I do not understand anything, but I do comprehend everything that you have said.
Grammar.
Okay. Do you have any questions about your right to be represented?
I believe I've already answered that.
Okay, so these are required questions by law that I have to ask you, okay? Do you understand that if you cannot afford an attorney, one can be provided to you free of charge? Practically, I'll give you a chance to answer, but practically what that means is you have to make an application with the public defender's office. Do you understand that if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you free of charge if you take those steps?
Did I choose to do that? Yes, I understand that.
These are questions, again, that I'm required to answer ask you by law. Do you have any legal training? Okay.
The 5th.
The 5th on your legal training. How far have you gone in school? Okay. So I need to.
Imagine pleading the 5th on, hey, did you graduate high school? Hey, do you have any college? Oh, do you have any actual legal training? Imagine pleading the 5th to that. Daisy, here's the problem. Here's a problem, princess, is you're not smart enough to understand that you're wrong. So obviously you're not bothered by any of us or what we're saying to you. You don't believe in the Constitution. You don't believe in the rule of law. You're spitting on the Constitution that I took an oath to protect and defend. And in your response to, you clearly hate the Constitution because you're not accepting any of these laws. Your response is, you're getting paid by the government. You're a government shill. What? How does that even make sense? Please seek help. Please seek help. Yeah, I'm giving you attention because I'm genuinely worried about your mental health. I'm worried about your well-being. It seems like you're so dumb that at any moment you can just stop breathing. So yeah, please seek help.
Just to understand, do you feel like you have, I need you to answer some questions or else I'm just going to find that you are making a choice not to answer these. I need to make sure that I am getting the questions asked under the law and that you need to answer them. And so saying pleading the fifth, I can't tell if you don't understand the process. And so that's what I'm going to keep asking you. But if you're just trying to use it as a game not to answer the questions, then I can make that based on the demeanor. I do feel like it's kind of this game you're playing with your friend that's here. So do you have any legal training? Yes, you're
playing a game with your friend that's here, because to this day, he's introduced this guy as a federal attorney and a tribal elder, but has given no proof to show that. Your system needs help. Would this have been tolerated in 1750? No, I don't even think it would have been tolerated 15 years ago. The fact that Lurch over here, also men, if you're bald on the top, but you can still grow the sides long, just shave that shit. Just shave that shit. But the fact that he keeps leaning over and just giving this guy all of everything what to say, but yet you're not representing him and he's not co-counsel. Back up. I would have already, again, he would have already been in contempt a long time ago.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. How far have you gone in school? Are you under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol that would affect your understanding of today's proceedings?
Do not understand anything.
So I'm just going to make a record for any appellate record that Mr. Smith's sitting here with his arms crossed. He's clearly not wanting to answer my questions. I do not think, based on my observations, that he's not understanding. I've allowed someone here to sit next to him who keeps whispering in his ear.
No, Judge, you're not allowing him to sit next to him. You are allowing him to sit in the gallery and give him all of the legal advice. He's not sitting next to him. If he was sitting next to him, he would have had to put his name on the record, put his credentials on the line, but he's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's sitting in the gallery, leaving, coming back with another person, looking at a phone, whispering, hey, maybe you should try this. No, contempt. Or just toss his ass out of court, Uncle Phil style. Grab him like he's jazz and just throw him out the fucking front door. You know what I'm saying? That's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air joke, if you guys didn't catch that.
It is clear to me that this is a strategy. So I just want to make sure that that's clear on the record. But I do think that Mr. Schmidt appears to be understanding everything here today. He doesn't appear to be under the influence of anything. He's been able to coherently answer the court's questions. But I do just want to make that finding. Mr. Schmidt, do you understand that criminal law is a complicated area and that an attorney trained in this field could be of great help in preparing and representing your defense?
Understand anything.
And again, I'll just make a note that I'm trying to advise Mr. Schmidt. I hope that he understands this. I think he does understand my questions, but he's making a point of not answering. Do you understand, Mr. Schmidt, the penalties that you're facing?
Understand anything.
Okay.
This goes for Indian tribal members as well.
I've already ruled on that. I'm not going to go back to my ruling on that.
What was that ruling?
You can order a transcript of the ruling. I found under the statutory requirements that someone that is a tribal member can be charged under the traffic laws. All right. So we'll see you back here. It is now.
Yeah, you quoted something incorrectly. And then when the judge went back, or was it the prosecutor, one of the two, read the entirety of what you tried to quote, you were proven to be lacking in the knowledge of what it actually said. It said, yes, you can travel on whatever fucking roadway you want on tribal land, sure. But the moment you cross out of tribal land, all of the regular traffic laws apply. Your shit was debunked by the entirety of the law. And you're still trying to bring it up. I'm still waiting to hear about the fake plate. I don't think we're going to get to the fake plate.
We'll see you back here on May 26th at 10:30. I've noted your objections. I've ruled on all of your motions.
That's not a ruling.
That's an ignore.
You're asking me to argue back and forth with you. Mr. Schmidt, you're asking me to argue back and forth.
Mr. Schmidt, I could hear him say you're ignoring it, and then you just parroted it. Is he representing you or not?
With you. That's not how the court works. I've heard your legal arguments. I've heard responses, and then I've ruled. You want to continue this dialogue, and it's not a dialogue. I'm just ruling on it. I wish you the best, Mr. Schmidt. I'll see you back here for your pretrial readiness conference, and we will see you back here for that next court date. Thank you, sir.
As his next friend counsel, I object to the fact that you refuse to rule on any of his objections. I find in the statute where you can sustain no objections, which I suggest you do, and I find where you can overrule them.
Okay, cool. You're his tribal counsel. Put your name and credentials on the record. Do it or be held in contempt. It's really fucking that easy. I'm a government shill because I support and defend the Constitution and don't have a criminal history and follow the law. That's weird, Daisy.
Those objections, which I know you will. Nowhere do I find you can where you can ignore or note an objection. It doesn't exist.
She abandoned.
Get away with it a lot around.
She abandoned.
But in federal court, it doesn't apply.
Also, you can't abandon the court if the case is over. If the case is over, if they're like, all right, this is your next day, that's the next time you got to be here. See you then. Have a good day. And then you leave because the case is over. They can't just go, they're abandoning the court. That's like saying, oh, you're fired. And then you go, no, I quit. Yeah, this is one of those times where she was very knowledgeable. I'll give her that. This judge is extremely knowledgeable about sovereign citizens and how the law applies to people who pretend to know the law. Good. But God, yes, that whole side of the fucking court should have been held in contempt. This guy that's on trial, his tribal elder, and the other guy that was like feeding the tribal elder shit from his phone. They should all be in jail for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever somebody sees fit. I'm just going to let this be known. Like, again, she's very knowledgeable. Don't want to put like she's not. She's very knowledgeable. She actually broke it down almost like Judge Perkins style, where it's like, this is what the law actually says. This is how you're wrong. Suck it. But like, imagine trying this in Judge Perkins' court or Judge Middleton's court or heaven forbid, Judge Simpson's court. Judge Simpson would have got off the bench and thrown you out of court himself. If you tried to lean over and talk to the person that was actually being fucking on trial, Mr. Bailiff, somebody's going to drop the bailiff's name. He'd have grabbed you and thrown you in jail. Like, what are we doing? Ah, golly. All right, yeah. Let's see for what do we got? A few more seconds.
Just not do it. Yes, we're going to do federal district court. Okay. We're going to do Rule 27, acts of perpetual testimony. You guys can get subpoenaed.
The prosecutor's laughing.
Continue to prosecute. The cop says he never had prosecuted. That he didn't cite him for what he pulled him over for.
He did cite him for what he pulled him over for. He got pulled over for having a fake fucking plate. Now you're pretending it doesn't exist. The officer said fake plate 3, 4, 5 times. Every time Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen, that's the bailiff. But yeah, like his federal attorney is even pretending that the fake plate doesn't exist. He got cited for the fake plate. So your entire argument falls flat.
Gives up probable cause to cite him for I
think that has all been ruled on.
Case precedence.
Okay.
So give you some job security, bro.
Just job security, bro. Just job security. Yeah, I guess it's job security that people keep breaking the law. Don't know how that's job security. Yeah, Dove, I was going to talk about this comment. Daisy doesn't see educated people dunking on her as anything more than a self-fulfilling prophecy that we're all dumb bootlickers. She can be as wrong as she wants, as many times as she wants. And then when she gets corrected, it's, oh, you're a government shill. Oh, you're bought and paid for by the government. The government doesn't pay me shit. And that's not the government doesn't pay me a ton. The government doesn't pay me at all. I haven't been paid by the government since I left the Navy in 2016. Which, yes, it's about to be a fucking 10 years I've been out of the military in like 3 months, which is wild to me. But yeah, the government hasn't paid me in a long time. Long time. They're definitely not paying me to correct you, Daisy. They don't pay me to do what I do. I do this for the love of the fucking game. Weapons, if you're still here, can you drop my Discord link? Actually, hold on. Let me do something real quick. I think I can do this before we get out of here. I have Booze and Body Cam coming out later at 8 o'clock. I also have a random video coming out probably at like 5 of another sovereign citizen in court. This guy is going to fall under the second category of dumber than BSBT. He's like Daisy May, where he's just mentally ill and too dumb to understand that he's wrong. Oh, is Mark not live? Let me go check to see if Mark's still live. I thought he was going to be live for hours. Yeah, he's live. Oh, it's because I somehow spelt it wrong. Okay. Daisy, you didn't bring any excitement. We get people like you from time to time where they think they're smart. And then they get dunked on, and then they come back. Why is it telling me that Mark isn't a person? Let me try spelling it a different way. Ah, there we go. Got it. Save. All right. Now we can end the stream safely, and everybody can go where they're going to go. All right. Everybody have a good rest of your day. I will see you at some point today, somewhere else, more than likely. That's it. Okay. Bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.